Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. We are taking a look at a 2022 NFL mock draft, just the first round by Josh Edwards. We are joined by our good friend Noah Rockoff because we have a relatively heated argument to get into. Before we get into the mock, we appreciate all the support that you guys have given to the channel. If you guys like the content, like, subscribe, leave some comments below, talking some ball. You know the boys love getting in the comment section, having a little bit of that football discourse in the comment section. Now, let's get into the first round of this NFL mock draft. Aiden Hutchinson to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is relatively chalky. I think he's a guy that is going to change the culture in Jacksonville. He's the best player in college football, in my opinion. A little bit biased, but the film doesn't lie. The dude was absolutely dominant. I think this makes a lot of sense. DraftKings has him minus 400 to go first overall. Now the debate begins. Rock, I'm going to kick it off to you. Dylan and I just can't get behind Travon Walker. How are you going to pick a guy in the top 5, much less 2, with guys like Kyle Hamilton on the board, who hasn't had any double-digit sacks year, hasn't had any double-digit tackles for a loss in a year? Rock, sell us on Travon Walker a little bit.
I think you just look at the upside. It's pretty simple here. He had one less sack than Kayvon Thibodeau last year. So I don't really worry about numbers too much because you see the run-stopping ability that he's going to be elite at right off the gate.
Yep.
You're going to let him develop as a pass rusher because he hasn't had time really to do that at Georgia. And, I mean, for what he is, 6'5", 272, he's listed at here, he doesn't move like that. There's games where, like the Auburn game, I talk about a lot because he covered Tank Bigsby down the field. You don't see that with any other defensive end, not Thibodeau, not Hutchinson. Really no one in the past couple of years. And the NFL right now is all about traits. Last year, Odafe Owe, one of the guys that ran a 4.35, made it to the end of the first round. And if it wasn't for Micah Parsons, we're talking about him as like a prodigy because it's hard to get production year one, but he just relied on his traits. And I think that's what the NFL needs right now. And Travon hits all of those. So
the issue is the traits didn't show up enough on the film. Like Owe was clearly a freak athlete, but there was also the ability to rush the passer on the edge. He wasn't the most consistent player in college, but you saw him demonstrate the ability to be flexible on the edge, be a fluid mover. You with Travon Walker, yeah, he runs fast in a straight line. Yes, he jumps high. Yes, he bench presses a lot, but you didn't see the elite fluidity of the Von Millers and the guys who have been really great in the league. So I get there's an element of athleticism, but there's also an element of not looking as athletic, in my opinion. If you watch the tape.
I think Travon, so I think I'm a little higher on Travon Walker than you are, but I certainly am not a top 10 Travon Walker guy. And again, I think there was a reason Odafe Owe didn't have the production. He didn't have a single sack in his collegiate career, but there was a reason. The dude's only been playing football for 4 years. So it's he has a lot of room to develop. Travon Walker's a guy, he's a 3-year guy, but he's been playing football his whole life. And what the biggest thing I'm concerned with taking him with the number 2 overall pick, when you still have a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau on the board, is you didn't really see the elite pass rushing ability. There wasn't any plan of attack to rush the passer. There isn't great bend around the edge. The Myles Garrett comps, I think, are just way off. Yes, he's very strong. He's twitchy. He has a good get off. But the bend that Myles Garrett has just isn't there. The tool bag of pass rush moves from Travon Walker isn't there. So I'm not out on the prospect as much as I'm out on him being a top 5 pick.
I think a lot of it is also scheme though. I mean, the way Georgia kind of used him was kind of setting up the offensive line for their linebackers like Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean and Channing Tindall to get through and make sacks and make plays. So it's hard to
The problem is Adam Anderson at times before whatever happened to him and he got suspended, as a better pass rusher, showed that you should be able to do some work in that system because he actually looked at times like he could be a solid.
Well, I mean, Adam Anderson, rusher. He'd be up here if he didn't screw up his leg.
Oh, of course. Yeah. If he didn't get suspended for that, of course he'd be up there. But that's what I'm saying. People say the scheme and whatever. Adam Anderson put way better film out when he was playing as being that guy on the edge. And you just never saw Travon win enough. I don't even I really can't think of a ton of reps where he won on the edge with something other than like a bull rush.
Yeah.
You just didn't see that. And that's
No
the
tool
concerning part is you can be a great athlete, but you need to be fluid and you need to be smooth because once you get up into the NFL, all the guys who really work out are, again, I think Von Miller's the perfect he's just so smooth. He can move very fluidly. He's not just straight line, stop, start. Some athlete. He can really move his body in crazy ways.
Yeah. It's just tough because with Walker, I think you have such a high floor though, because you trust him immediately on first and second down.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great run stopper. And then you just let him develop as a third down player. And right now, I think his rookie year, he's not going to be drawing double teams or anything crazy like that. So he'll get some cleanup sacks. And as a run stopper, I mean, he could be one of the best players on the Lions do have a couple great young defensive linemen that can stop the run with what were the names last year? The Washington kid and the NC State kid.
Only McNeil, my guy.
Yeah, McNeil. Yeah. So I mean, they're going to be tough. If this is the pick here, that's a team that will not be able to get run on. I think that the cleanup sacks will come because the big guys will eat in the middle.
But you're not drafting a guy for cleanup sacks at the top. That's what you draft
for year one, maybe though. But down the line, this is how you let him develop. You give him on that single one-on-one blocks and these poor tackles and the
problem is you got three guys who are plug and play ready in Johnson, Tavon, and Hutch. So you can't put him. I just don't see a world that he can be over any of those three because those three are athletic and have traits, but they also are dominant on the field.
I agree. All three of those guys you listed, Jermaine Johnson, Hutchinson, and Kayvon Thibodeau, had better film than Travon Walker. Not even to say Travon Walker. I feel like we're saying his film stunk. It didn't.
Just doesn't justify top 10.
Going to Detroit, you don't need a play. You can afford to take a developmental guy because you're not going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, but I don't care about development if maybe his ceiling is to reach those other three.
But Dill, what Hutchinson?
Maybe that's how good he can be.
Hutchinson, he's not going to get that much better. I don't think that the ceiling is that much higher for someone like Hutchinson.
He doesn't need to be that much better. He had 15 sacks.
Yeah, in college, against Petit Frere who can't move below the waist. It's whatever.
How else are you to judge?
No, but listen, you worry about that with Hutchinson. With Thibodeau, it's a weird, does he really want to play?
That's a media narrative. I'm not buying
injuries, a host of other stuff. And then with Jermaine Johnson, you get 1 year of production. And I like Jermaine Johnson. But anyway, every single player has their pros and cons, but with Travon, you have the highest ceiling of any player in the draft, I think.
I guess the problem is we disagree on tape versus traits. At the end of the day, I think your tape needs to be at a minimum fairly good to be in the top 10 because you got three edge rushers. It was not good on the edge though. It was good in the other facets, yes. But there's not a ton of work on the edge. And I don't know how you're going to draft a guy top 5 or top 10 who didn't show really anything on the edge as a pass rusher. Not drafting him to stop the run. You get plug and play.
That's where I probably agree with Dylan more. And again, I don't want it to seem like I'm a Travon Walker hater. It's more like when you're drafting, especially at that number 2 or number 3 slot where I'm seeing Travon Walker mock to the Lions or to the Texans. You want to see traits. You need to have traits, but you got to see the film to back it up to you. It's if you're gonna be a top 5 pick, you want to have the 2-prong. I'm not just drafting a guy with the 2nd overall pick because he has good traits. You also want to see the ability to put those traits on the film. And I'll give you some pros about Travon Walker. His ability to just do it all. He's not a tweener. He's just a versatile guy. You can play him at the 3 tech. You can play him at 5. You can drop him out into the flat, and he's faster and better athlete. Can move better than some of these linebackers. He's good. It's just when you're taking an edge guy at number 2, you want to see a little bit more than 6.5 or something.
Not drafting a Swiss Army knife at top 5. I'm drafting a pure edge rusher of the Von Miller ilk, and he's just not that.
Yeah.
Listen, I guess the main difference between the ROC Boys and myself is that I'm not scared to project. I have some cojones to myself, and I'm not gonna. I'll be right about him, and then you guys can later on be like,
Colin
okay, I
Hicks.
won't.
You just
Next time in 2024, when someone like Travon Walker comes up again, you're not gonna miss on.
Yeah,
I
been
just
through
can't
the
wait.
missing.
I can't wait. I again, and my final thing is these guys who fly up the board because of the combine and what they do in shorts. I don't know how that doesn't inherently leave you like, what are we doing? Because like we weren't talking about this guy on the field, and now we're talking about him like he's the best player in the draft. Like, come on, it's football at the end of the day. It's not combine workouts that win Super Bowls. All we're talking about him is because of his combine stuff.
Still, with
Really?
the hammer closing argument. This guy we'll have to get back on in November next year. See, well, not even November.
because ROC doesn't want that.
Well,
No,
3 or
give me
4 years.
November 2024. Let me have that.
We'll be back in November
We
2024.
talking when we're 90. Like, oh, he could
Talk
have been
about
that guy.
Travon Walker and how he's panned out. He's definitely a polarizing and interesting guy.
Oh,
I feel like
Him and Penning are the two most polarizing guys, I think.
for you, just because you're like down hard on both of them.
Perhaps that could
Keep
be
going.
a personal bias.
Evan Neal to the Texans. I feel like Kyle Hamilton could be the pick here because Laramie Tunsil, you're not really sure what he's gonna do. Texans are just best player available. Whoever you have ranked as high, just go get him because you're a couple of years off right now. I like the offense side of the ball though, because
I think honestly Travon fits better here because you got Casario and Lovie Smith, and he kind of mixes both of what they like. But either way, I'd be fine with Evan Neal. I'd rather have Ikem though. Icky.
Yeah, Icky, the Ikem.
Yep.
Now we got a Kwanu. This is
Nope. That's got to be a Hamilton, but I'll leave it at that.
that's actually true. I feel like the Jets, if Hamilton's there at 4, I feel like Hamilton will go.
What do you do with Mekhi? You got Icky and Mekhi. What are your
That's what I think.
Left
Why
and
are all these
right.
people saying to take another tackle?
Hey, if you're getting off the bus with Mekhi and the Big Ick, you don't
That's
want
fair.
to see that. You don't want to see them. They were about it.
I wonder if they move on from Mekhi from like what you hear on Twitter and like what everyone's saying is they're not too thrilled with him.
Yep.
And I mean, this would be an easy in and out 1 year starter. So I don't know.
Ikem Kwanu, he's getting some serious traction.
Mm-hmm.
Giants go Charles Cross, get the bookend tackles, Andrew Thomas.
Stop saying buckend. It's bookend. For
Get the bookend
crying
tackles.
out loud.
Get the bookend tackles, Charles Cross, Andrew Thomas. They got to address the offensive line. They do it with Charles Cross or Rock Boy. Favorite.
Take every tackle in the top 7. And
Have to.
Pick 6,
Ooh.
Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I mean, again, we're a little bit more Rock. Derek Stingley or Ahmad Gardner? Do you have to pick cornerback?
Ahmad Gardner. I'm not really that worried about Gardner in the NFL. I'm worried about Stingley.
But I feel like Derek Stingley has the ceiling to just be like
if the Panthers pick 2 corners in the top 10 in consecutive years,
that's
Well, they'll get
worst thing.
Yeah, but this is a horrible stock.
If none of the tackles
they
are
should
there.
want one of those tackles.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think they get a quarterback here because freaking Rule's fighting for his life at this point.
The thing is, if he drafts a quarterback like Malik Willis, like you give yourself another 2-year runway because like they won't fire after 1 year with Malik Willis. That's big brain out of Matt Rule. He's a smart guy. He might do that.
It's Temple.
Romstout came on Thibodeau. You gotta get him. I think Jermaine Johnson is another pick. Like if he's there, go get an edge guy who can get after the passer. I like it. Oh, Drake London.
Ew.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't like this because I think the Falcons are the perfect trade back candidate because they're going to need every single pick for next year's draft that they can get. They're not going to be competitive for the next 3 years.
Or take a rip at Malik.
If you saw the Falcons mock I just did, take a rip at Malik. You don't need to be good for a couple years. So this
You're
is
setting him up to fail though. Like why? Like I wouldn't even put him in. Like
that's true.
This year you pick all the pieces to get a Bryce Young next year. And you just get offensive linemen and what else you need. But like Drake London here, I don't know. I don't love that fit. And I'd rather them trade back or grab another offensive lineman.
It doesn't do anything for him.
I do agree, but then you might just start Marcus Mariota that year. If you do like Malik Willis, but I also understand they're like, let's have a down year and then go get another franchise.
Or you could just do the Joe Burrow route and throw him right into the fire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Malik Willis, even around a decent team, the Falcons is just a joke if you see that wide receiving room now. But you will have Calvin Ridley back after the suspension, I think. But I don't
Well,
even.
that's like 2 years from now, but yeah.
Malik Willis to Seattle. I do like this one. I don't think it'll happen because Pete Carroll doesn't like the gunslinger. He wants a guy who's going to just like a Kenny Pickett, who's going to settle in, make good reads, and deliver the ball easily.
You wouldn't let him cook, so what's the point?
Malik Willis is a backyard football guy. He likes
You
going
need to
off
let
script.
him rip it up.
But
I
I do like
guarantee
the
this
idea.
is not the pick, and I guarantee they messed this pick up because they're like the worst drafting team
They are bad
in the
drafting.
first round ever. Like, ugh.
But
It's not Hamilton, they're
again,
trolling. That's all I know.
Malik
Oh,
Willis is a
no.
guy that like
Next pick.
he'll sit in Seattle because they have
Got Drew Lock.
Oh,
no Kyle
What the
Hamilton.
hell?
Bill's about to have an aneurysm. But they were in Tyreek Hill, so they obviously want to
Close.
bolster up the wide receiving room. They do it with Garrett Wilson.
silly.
I don't hate the idea of building around Zach Wilson, but
Yeah.
Kyle
You
Hamilton,
got to get someone who can cover a soul because they were giving up 50 points every week.
now Kyle Hamilton goes. So they're going no secondary with the
That
load
would
the
irk
secondary
me
has.
if Kyle Hamilton went to the Commanders. That would piss me
Yeah,
off.
the commies.
He's not going to make it there. There's no way.
I don't think so either.
Too good.
And they already have.
They
have
they let go of Collins.
They have Cameron Curl. No, Collins is gone. Cameron
Yeah, but
Curl.
that's-
is,
They need a new safety because
If Kyle
Collins is gone.
Hamilton's at 11, I'll take him. Take him. He's gonna be a stud. He's like as close to like a bona fide stud as
Yeah, he's awesome.
They also messed up this QB situation so bad. They could have had Baker Mayfield for less than what they paid for
They
Carson
panicked
Wentz.
because they were the team that was going after Russell, going after the veterans, and then Deshaun Watson becomes available like 2 days after they go out and give Carson Wentz go get Carson Wentz. They're kicking themselves after that, I'm sure. Jermaine, this would be a dream. I mean, you have your choice at Derek Stingley, Jermaine
Yeah.
Johnson. That's
I mean, you take
but-
either Stingley or him here.
Yeah.
Well,
Fine
I mean they have Daniel Hunter and then they just got Zadarius Smith. So I mean, I guess you let him sit for 4 years.
No, that is true. Then maybe you go Derek Stingley there. This mock might have been.
Oh, yeah, they did just get Zadarius. That's facts. I kind of forget about that, but
Then the Texans get Derek Stingley, who I think is a great. I mean, again,
That would be awesome for the
the
Texans.
best available guy. Man, imagine if they got Kyle Hamilton and Derek Stingley. Who's throwing the ball on that team? But Derek Stingley is a great pick. 14. JD Dill, have a day here. Great.
this is my pick. I say I do it every time. Jordan Davis. You know what? He's going to be a better pro guy because the only issues he ever had in college were getting tired. No one gets tired in the pro games. It's slow. So whatever.
Nobody gets tired. Nobody ever gets
I
tired.
do
They
think
don't.
that's a good argument. When you saw
30
Jordan
seconds
Davis's
between a
film,
play.
it was like bad film. It was because the dude just gassed. The NFL teams play slower, so like maybe the gas tank won't be as big.
Also, like, sorry for being the most active defensive tackle the world's ever seen. Like, God forbid. He's just
I think-
that good.
He replaces Calais Campbell in that defense, which would be
Yeah.
nice. So I like it.
Ugh. Don't hate it. I just wish it was Nakobe Dean. I we're the media's taken away the Devin Lloyd's LB1.
Because he wasn't a combine warrior. So,
Kobe Dean's a
don't
second
freak
round
out.
pick right now.
It's a joke. It's actually no, he is, but like it's a joke. People are
yeah, in the media world, he's a second round pick.
like,
He's
oh,
gonna be a
he's too
second round
small.
pick.
Like the dude is he was like one of the best players in football.
The
But
Lions
it's
are gonna scoop up Nakobe Dean at the end of the first round. They're gonna have
That'd be
just
such a
studs.
gift.
yes, yeah. Traylon Burks again. Traylon Burks is not my guy. With a guy like Chris Olave still on the board, even Jamison Williams still on the board. I'm not high on Traylon Burks.
I've soured so much on Burks.
Yeah,
He's
same.
like, and I have a feeling the Cowboys, that's going to be the pick for them. And I'm trying to come to terms with it, and I just don't like it.
I don't. He's just not a
Can't.
wide out.
Be like Kyle Singer with Josh Allen.
Yeah, hopefully.
Chargers, Trevor Penning. Dill, I know you don't like him, but like put him at right tackle, him and Rashawn Slater. I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
They do need a tackle. I don't know. I don't see him as an upgrade from tackle from Petit Frere at this point. So that's my problem.
Whoa, what the? Is that actually your take? Is that actually?
Oh, yeah,
you said that out
that's
loud. No, you said that.
Well,
out
he's
loud.
not Bernie Ryman. I mean, of course, but I'm even saying what you can get in the middle of the second round, I think is pretty close to what Trevor Penning's can be as a tackle. That's just my opinion.
Interesting. Dill's down.
Go back and watch Iowa State. Watch him play Iowa State. He got like 3 holding penalties in like 3 plays.
Yeah, because you know who he's playing against?
Big Will McDonald.
Will McDonald.
Will McDonald.
In
Should
a
be
3
the draft.
down lineman front.
The There's like clips of him at the Senior Bowl. Like, oh, he's dominating the Senior Bowl. And one of the clips, I think I've said this on
wrestling,
is like he's like locked in with an edge guy, and he like throws the guy to the ground. But like he throws the guy to the ground of like to the quarterback's legs. Desmond Ridder almost gets hurt and gets a sack. Like it was like
you get kicked out of practice for that in the pros.
Like Trevor Penning's dominating, man. It's like he just caused a sack by throwing the edge defender into the quarterback's knees.
He's setting a tone. He's a tone
setter. Oh my God! Don't say that. I hate
people
that
love
so
him. Like, oh, he listens to like he watches horror films.
Set a tone with being like Tyler Linderbaum. Just be a savage.
It's goofy. I love this pick. Kenny Pickett, get a steady quarterback. I know they went out and got Jameis, but
the 2-year deals that basically says you don't.
Kenny Pickett's the best win now. Like if you have a good team, which the Saints do, like Kenny Pickett's going to give you. He's the most steady as she goes quarterback.
He's a good pick for the Saints.
My favorite thing is Saints fans saying like, "Oh, stop mocking Matt Corral to the Saints. Stop mocking QBs to the Saints." Like y'all need a quarterback. I don't understand why like Saints.
They're not ready to rebuild, bro. They're not ready. They want to compete.
They got to try to win.
Trust me, as a Bills fan, it's hard to come to terms with the rebuild. Sometimes you got to embrace it. You got to embrace it. You can't compete every year. It's not how it works. Eagles, Davonte Wyatt, a guy that Dill doesn't quite see. I like his game. I think ROC, in a similar way, he made the point about Travon Walker. Like that defensive scheme wasn't made to let the defensive lineman cook. It was more to set the linebackers. Davonte Wyatt's the guy that goes down to the Senior Bowl, just dominates. When he's like, okay, go be
big dog JD cook.
Like kind of. Like, yeah, he was pretty.
No, it was all Jalen Carter. It wasn't really. It was like
Jalen Carter's a freak. He's gonna be a top 10 pick next year.
Number 88's good.
Mike Tomlin is just over having a statue at quarterback. He's gonna get, if he goes quarterback, he's gonna get a guy who can move around because Ben Roethlisberger's last couple of years. And like just the lack of ability to extend a play worth a damn. I just don't know.
This is a tough one for me. I think with what you did with Trubisky is you give yourself 2 more drafts to get a guy, but you just can't go. I don't think you're going to find your quarterback outside of the top 2.
I don't think at least not a quarterback simply in this draft. Like,
just take him in the next. Just take him in the next round at this point because you can't be reaching for the 3rd quarterback in round 1.
I would, if I'm them, I'd rather wait till round 3 and get Zappy or something crazy like that. But
I agree.
They also love Malik Willis, so yes. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade up.
Yep,
there's gonna be a host of teams that are gonna try to trade up for Malik Willis at this point.
Yep.
So
yep.
We'll see.
Malik Willis getting some serious traction. I hope this doesn't happen. I do not want to see Olave. You saw Olave for 4 straight years at Michigan. I don't want to see him in the AFC East. I'm kind of over him. Just have him go to the NFC. You have the pack
somewhere else.
I don't want to see you catching touchdowns against my team. Dude's a stud.
It's a good fit.
It's a really good fit. It's a good fit. He's a good player. That'd be a good pick. J-Mo, that makes sense too. That's a chalky pick. A lot of people.
I feel like everybody has that, and chalky. It makes sense.
It makes sense. It's chalky. I like it.
Well, where do you fit him in? Like, where does his targets come from? I guess
Henry Ruggs. Wherever Henry Ruggs is, he's taking.
I was gonna say they haven't had their luck with speedy Alabama receivers, but like, yeah.
Yes. And with Davonte Adams, now it's just like, who are you gonna cover? Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Davonte Adams, Jameson Williams. Like,
yeah,
that would be a very
low.
You have the big guns to compete in the AFC West. You need to have the big. You gotta score points because the Chargers, the Chiefs, even the Broncos, they're gonna score points. You gotta be able to score points as well.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening.
Yes.
Yeah,
like it.
Don't love it. ROC wants Tyler Linderbaum the Cowboys. ROC, I'll give you a chance. What do you think about George Karlaftis to the America's team?
America's team. We're like freaking. I don't know what we are anymore. We have no identity.
He's having a crisis.
Do I like it? Yeah, because it fills a need. Do I like the player? Kind of, yeah. I'd rather have an offensive lineman here, but it's hard not to say no because right now our defensive end is Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler on that side of the ball. So I guess like you can put him in there. I don't know. I'd rather have an offensive lineman.
See, I've kind of soured since we recorded Sunday night, I believe, the Cowboys mock, Monday night, one of the two. Like, are we taking an interior offensive lineman? Like Zion John, like
you got to. Unless like we haven't like McGovern is I think McGovern's horrible. Biadish is fine at center. we cannot start McGovern and think that we're going to do anything different than last year because same offensive line coach. We lost Connor Williams as like a backup, I guess. We moved Terrence Steele to starting right tackle. How can you just throw McGovern in there and think that we're going to be a better team? Or on
Look at Jamari Salyer in the second or third. Like
that's the argument is you have your stud guard and your two stud linemen really in Smith and Martin. And do you need like 5 really good ones, or can you have one who's like just solid and you get a plug-in guy?
Dude, our offensive line was so bad. We couldn't block 4-on-5 last year. It's horrendous. Like we need an offensive lineman.
That's a Cowboys fans have a day with that. That's an interesting. We'll see where they go.
Yeah, we just need to cool it on the Linderbaum thing because he's more of a luxury pick than a Green or a Johnson. Because we need a left guard far more than we need a center. It's not even close.
I'm not even going to go there, but Tyler Linderbaum can play left guard.
No.
Just save it for something else.
You are the only person on the planet that thinks.
Hey, Dill, when people zig, Dill Zach.
Watch a game. Watch a game. He's the best interior lineman I've ever seen.
He'll get
telling me he
overpowered
can't play
by
guard.
bigger like nose tackles. It happens.
It didn't happen in the college game.
It did happen. It did happen. He gets set back. He can't play guard. He's not like that.
Oh my God, that's so insane. But this is great.
Centers. There's a reason that centers can play at 300 pounds or below 300. Guards cannot.
He is 300 pounds. What is he? 297? Like, what's the difference?
No, but he's. I bet his play weight's closer to like 292. And there's no guard in the NFL that's 292 pounds. None. Zero.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I'll never agree.
Daxton Hill to the Bills. I would get a jersey immediately. I don't know if they plan on playing him at safety and just being like kind of just a talented guy behind Poyer and Hyde when they have to step away, or like playing him at cornerback.
This must be saying he's going to play corner.
Yeah.
If Trent McDuffie is there, which I believe he is.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. As much as I like Dax Hill, you guys know I like Dax Hill. I think Trent McDuffie has to be the pick if he's there. 26. Yep. The Burn Man.
The 30-year-old.
Not over Zion Johnson. Can't do that.
No.
Interesting.
No, they need a heavy.
I would go Kenyon Green over Zion Johnson. Like I think
Fair.
Kenyon Green is right exactly with what Tennessee's trying to do.
I just don't see Kenyon Green being there, but yeah, I agree. Yeah. You can't.
And then Zion Johnson makes sense for the Bucs. Mm-hmm. I think that makes you got to boost up the interior, but you got to make sure you're getting a guy who's going to be a plug and play guy. Zion Johnson, like Rock, we talked about it on Sunday night. Like Zion Johnson's one of the more plug and play guys I think in the draft.
Yeah,
he's going to be good in the interior wherever he plays.
That's such a good rebuild in 1 year for the Bucs.
Yep, I agree. Packers, they got to get wide out. Christian Watson.
Whoa.
I
don't know.
I'd go Dotson, but fine.
Yeah, I mean Christian Watson is a guy who's 6'4". He moves super smooth. Yeah. He's fast. He has 4.3 speed.
It fits what Green Bay likes at wide receiver, like the tall guys who can kind of go up and get it, be a deep threat. But I think here's a little bit rich, and I don't think they've ever picked a wide receiver in the first round. So it's kind of
they need
against their whole entire.
Who do they take with the?
This must not be quite updated, is it? Or
unless they trade it out,
because that's their pick.
Yeah. Must be not updated since the Davonte Adams trade. I was more picking the Travon Walker. Rock, your guy, Logan Hall, 29.
Can't be mad about it. They got their offense set-ish. I mean, they could use another guard, but Logan Hall's a beast.
For not though, they don't have this pick, but yes, I do like Logan Hall.
Oh, they don't have this pick. Oh, they don't have this pick
because of Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
Well, who would you pick here if you're the Chiefs? Do they have 29 and 30?
Get a cornerback. Yeah, I would get a cornerback. I think David Ajabo was a great pick here, just because at a certain point he's got to be picked. And I get the torn Achilles; it hurts his draft stock. But
if they keep all those picks, they can afford to take a crack at him for sure. I think
he goes in the second round, but yeah.
And I love this pick because the Bengals have been mocked to tackle. And obviously they got Lyle Collins, but even before that, I was saying, like, you're not going to find a tackle who's going to be a plug-and-play guy who you trust. So go get your team better. There's going to be a good DB on the board, whether it's Kyrie Elam, Trent McDuffie, Andrew Booth. One of the guys, go get him and makes your team immediately better. You're a Super Bowl contender. find a way to get your team better. I think taking like a Bernie Ryman or a Trevor Penning, whoever's there, both of them aren't. But if they were to be there, like I don't know how much it makes your team better.
Corner.
I love Bengals Twitter right now because they get zero respect and no one calls them a Super Bowl contender and they get rattled. It is so funny.
That was when we had in that group chat, we were talking about every team competing in the AFC besides the Bengals.
Yeah, right. But dude, no, honestly though, I don't like as weird as it is, like I don't really see them like beating out a lot of these teams in the AFC right
Me
now.
neither. I think they're the 4th or 5th best team in the AFC. Like,
yeah. And I'm sorry, but like that's just the way.
I mean, frankly, they should have lost in every round they played in.
It was kind of
the Super Bowl.
It was like St. Peter's in the
right.
It's like
they just made a run.
They're making a run, but like are they good like out of 10 times? Like how many times have they beaten the Chiefs? How many times are they gonna beat?
They were like the healthiest team in the NFL.
And then they just kind of caught magic. Like it's kind of hard.
They caught teams collapsing.
Magic struck. They're a good team though. I think they won the AFC North still. And last pick, Lewis Cine with Nakobe Dean on the board. That's a joke. I do like Lewis Cine, but I think linebacker like a Nakobe Dean would be the pick here.
I like what the Lions are doing though. I'm excited about the Lions.
I'm a Lions fan right now. Like
the Lion boys.
They have a like the tackles, the offensive line is set. 2 picks in the first round this year. I don't think they should burn one on a quarterback. You're gonna have ability to make your roster way better. They have 2 more picks early second round. You're gonna have another down year, and then you're gonna get Bryce Young. He's gonna come into a roster that's actually pretty good, and you're ready to cook.
Well, honestly, did they? I was thinking of a wide receiver, but no. Okay.
They took trade. I think they could. They certainly could. But
they got the next pick, so they could Dotson. I think
Watson will be there. Like
the thing though is they have Amon-Ra, and like Dotson and Amon-Ra are kind of similar players.
I think Dotson can do a little bit more, but I agree. I would want a bigger guy like a Treylon Burks if he falls, or a Christian Watson. I think that would be the pick overall. I think that rounds out that receiver.
I think Dotson in an offense where a quarterback is more aggressive, I think can be a good deep threat guy. He's got good hands. He's fast.
If Dotson was on a different team, like because Sean Clifford stinks. Like if he was on a better offense, he's the only guy in that like offense. All right, fellas.
I think he's good.
I appreciate you guys jumping on. I did not realize this mock was not as quite updated as I thought. It was from March 18th, so obviously some trades have happened since then. But as usual, you guys watching, I appreciate you guys watching, supporting the ROC Boys again. Like, subscribe, comment on the channel if you guys like the content, and we'll be back with some more NFL draft talk later. Peace, y'all.